everybody, and welcome to Wisdom from Within. I am so excited to be here with you, Sue. It is amazing when you meet someone and it's just like an instant yes. And by the way, I'm also here on Instagram. I'm having some funky thing with StreamYard. So I'm going live on Instagram, which is great. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to see Sue. So I might, use my phone a little bit so they can see you. But anyhow, so we just had an instant connection. I love the work you're doing, uplifting women, transformational coach, badass women. You are a badass woman. And I loved so much your approach to life, your approach to your work. And I think we'll just start with you sharing who you are and the work that you do. And before you start, I'd love to just remind people, why we are here. Wisdom from Within happens every Wednesday at 1:00 because I believe that it is the most important work that we can do to reconnect, not connect, but reconnect to our truth, to the intelligence inside of our soul, because it's always been there. We just have forgotten how to listen to it. We have been conditioned out of listening to it because we haven't been taught that it's actually the most reliable resource that we have. So people don't understand that home is where the truth is. Home is where the guidance is. And it is my mission to help people reconnect to that so they can live authentically and boldly and with a sense of empowerment and excitement and passion. So that's the mission. And we're here to have this beautiful conversation with Sue. I'd love for you to share a little bit about you and your connection to this concept, the wisdom from within, and what that really means to you.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I just got to say, I love your energy. I feel your energy. And I'm going to add one more. The truth is, or home is where the heart is too, I think is another thing.
Yeah.
Because what the work that I do with horses and that connection is very heart-centered, and it brings me personally back into my body, back into my heart center, and also the people that I work with. When they're in the presence of the horses, they connect on a very deep level, and it really is grounding and centering and reconnecting and all of that. So I guess I didn't really say who I am or what I do, did I?
No, but
you did a great job of that, though.
No, please continue.
Yeah. My name is Sue Willoughby, and I am at my core an Equus Coach. That is sort of the foundation of my work. And I work one-on-one with horses or in groups with horses to work with women of a certain age to give them the opportunity to have an experiential journey of that reconnection and be in the presence of these magnificent animals that share their hearts with us, to be able to get back in your body, get out of your head, and feel that energy, feel that life, that curiosity, that sense of adventure that you've lost touch with. So, yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, yes. I'm sure that anyone and everyone that's listening to this is like, wait a second, horses, how, why, what,
when, where,
all the things. Yeah. Who? No, we know who. We know the person and we know the horse, right? So those are the two at play. I just love this so much, and I invite you to share this work more deeply because I'm sure people are very curious.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. I came to horses early on in my life. I've always been, I think a lot of women go through that horsey phase when they're young, and they're like, oh my God, I love horses. And they're, they get the My Little Pony and the Breyer horse collection and the whatever, and spend a lot of time at the barn. And then they kind of phase out of it. I just kind of never phased out of it, although horses came and went throughout my life, and they really helped me through some dark times in my life that I didn't even really understand what was happening. I only knew that it made me feel good. As a kid growing up with an alcoholic mom, I loved being at the barn because I felt like I belonged. Also, I came out at a fairly early age. I was 17, so I always knew that I was different, I didn't fit in, but I always felt like I fit in with the horses because they didn't care. They didn't judge
Mm.
you, they're just being themselves and allowing you to be in their energy bubble, which to me was very comforting. But like I said, I didn't understand. I didn't have the emotional intelligence or whatever I just was like, "Oh, this feels so good. This feels so good. I wanna be here."
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
they were just a thread, and they were woven throughout my life as a young adult and as an older adult, and, I would leave them and come back to them, or they would find me, and if I can tell a quick little story about this cute little Arabian mare that my friends were like, "Hey, we've got a free horse for you." Now, for those of you who are out there that know horses, there's no such thing as a free horse.
Right.
But she had been misunderstood, and nobody wanted her, and she was gorgeous. She was this beautiful gray Arabian, and my friends
Oh,
said, "Oh, you can get her, you can breed her." And I'm like, "What, then I got 2 free horses? That's crazy." So
right.
so I had her for a while, and her previous owner was still at the barn, and it was interesting because whenever I would come in the barn, she'd nick her, she'd come to the front of her stall, and then her owner would walk by, and she'd go right to the back of the stall. She just did not connect with that person at all. And I also noticed something about her when I got her. She just was very stressed out. I found out more about her life story later on, but
Mhm.
she had depigmentation around her eyes and around her mouth because she was a gray and she had gray skin, but she had pink, like, vitiligo, it looked like, depigmentation around her mouth. When I moved her from the stable that we were at, the barn that we were at, and she was in a different place with only one other horse or two other horses, I noticed over time, I looked at some pictures of her and I was like, wow, it went away. It was stress. She was so stressed out from her experience that her skin actually reacted in a way. So
Mm.
I
Wow.
was also going through a difficult time in my life. I'd had a breakup of
Right.
a relationship. So we found each other, and she was not my
Oh,
forever horse, but I was able to be with her, give her space and understanding, and hold space for her while she held space for me,
oh,
and it was just a beautiful thing. So, I mean, that's just like
ah.
one example of, how my connection with horses has been amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a few things. One that I was very drawn to. I'm always drawn to when people feel things and then they follow through and then it becomes their purpose or their
Mhm.
passion or something that they teach others. And from a young age, you really felt this connection to horses and
Yeah.
you didn't understand exactly why, but you went with it because your body told you to. And that is
Mhm.
so beautiful that you trusted that. I would love for you to share how this works, how horses can reflect back to people and help them connect to the wisdom inside of themselves and help them lead more purposeful lives. Yeah, how does
How
that
does it
work?
work? It's magic. That's what it is, Jen. It's just magic. It is actually magic. There's a little bit of
It
magic, there's a
is.
little bit of science, there's a little
Yeah.
bit of everything,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had also volunteered over the years in therapeutic riding, so I got to see how humans would connect with horses on that level, and then it started to, like, be, "Oh, okay, I get that connection." The work
Mhm.
that I do, however, does not involve riding. Everything is on the ground.
Right.
It's pure interaction with the horses. To your question of why does it work and how does it work? Horses, although they're big, although they're powerful, are prey animals. And by that, they have to take in so much information through all of their senses every
Mhm.
second of every day that they are
Mhm.
always in the moment. They're always present because they're always
Mm.
figuring out, they're assessing, is that dangerous, right? That sound, that thing that I see in my pasture, so when we are in their space, they are taking in information about us, but not just how we present. They're actually connecting with us in a very heart-centered way. So they're
Mhm.
they're sensing our heart beat and syncing with that, and also what's going on inside our bodies, our
Mm,
different, biorhythms and so forth, because they want to know, is this being that's in my herd? Because once we're near them, we're actually part of their herd. And
mm,
being prey animals and being herd animals, they need to communicate and feel safe with everything and everyone around them. If
mm,
not, then they need to make a decision. Is this something that I need to get away from? Or,
mhm,
what level
mhm,
of safety is this?
mhm,
So they're going to see beyond what we present. And by present, I
mm,
mean, we all have a way that we want people to see us. Horses
right.
don't see that. Like, when I was talking about, the horses seeing and feeling, not so much seeing,
Mhm,
but feeling what was going on
mm,
inside me and connecting with me on that level so that I could drop my defenses, or clients can
mhm,
be grounded and let some of that melt away
mm,
so that they can then get in touch with, because horses will also mirror our behavior. And they will also
mhm,
mirror what's going on inside of us. So you may present
mm,
with, I'm not afraid. I'm tough. I'm sturdy. I'm, whatever. Meanwhile, inside, you are going through some horrible things, or you're just, feel insecure or whatever. The horse is sensing the insecurity. The horse is sensing what's really going on inside of you. So
mhm,
they help you realize and become aware of what's going on in your body,
mm,
and that will inform you of why you may react the way you do about certain things. So if you get triggered by something, or if somebody is encroaching in your boundaries, and you may, however it presents in your body, it may be tightness in your chest, it may be something in your gut. The horses are sensing that, and they're like, I'm not getting a clear read here because you're saying one thing, I'm feeling another. So let's see if we
yeah.
can get you to be a little bit more congruent. That's about the easiest
Mm,
way I can explain
okay.
it.
Oh, you explained it absolutely beautifully, and I mean, there's so many things going on in my mind right now, but one in particular is, I get a lot of people in my space that are like, "I don't know how to listen to my body's wisdom. I don't even know what that is."
Right.
Like, is that really a thing? And then, they might discount it because of their own conditioning and their own, experiences growing up and or moving through life, and I'm just seeing the power of this so much that when for those people that really don't know how to connect and really don't know how to listen, which is totally fine because we
Mhm.
all are starting this journey at different places. This is such a great resource, not so accessible, like it's just not everybody's got horses near them or
Right.
you near them. Um, so I guess what would you say to that? Is there like some virtual stuff you do ever? Because this is just such a beautiful tool to help people really understand the intelligence within them.
Yeah, absolutely. I do work with people virtually, and
Mhm.
because I've been around horses so much, I have a little bit of horse intuition. So I can kinda sense when people, are not being congruent, and just without the
Yeah.
horse actually being there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
Yeah, it's also, you could also do some virtual stuff where people are observing horse behavior and how
Mhm.
horses communicate and show up in relationship. And a lot
Mm.
of times, what they're observing, they're transferring their stuff onto the horse.
Right.
Right? So if they're like seeing a horse standing out in the pasture, but whatever it is, so you can kind of use some of those examples if you're in a virtual situation.
Right,
I also
right, right.
do retreats at locations
Great.
where people can come, and you and I should do a retreat together. That would be
Oh,
so
I was
fun.
totally I'm already going like, "Okay, this is a perfect aligned partnership for this." Absolutely. We're gonna talk about that another time for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So complimentary. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's
So
lots of
can
things
you
that we
take
can
us
talk about,
ahead?
and
Yeah,
help
yeah,
people have a better understanding of, like, just like you do, right? When you're working with
yeah.
women and their bodies, and they don't understand, like you said, what does that feel like? Well, no, 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 I'm mad. Well, what does mad feel like? What does joy feel like? And try and pull that out of them in ways that they have physical sensations that they can identify with.
Yeah. It's interesting. In my work, I talk a lot about how, yes, it's, calming the nervous system, getting clear so that we can be really honest and calm within our bodies to understand what our bodies are trying to say,
Mhm.
and using whatever we learn to create the life we want, like using that information to know what even like curriculum we want to create for our classes, for our companies that we're running, agendas, or parenting, right? So I
Mhm.
could really see how your work, like tapping into that truth, how it's not just about this calm, but it's really activating what is possible and what can be created from that level of authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it is just about awareness, just building
Yeah,
awareness and
right, right.
having a better understanding. Like I said, it's a lot about relationships and how we show up in relationships with others is how we
Mm.
relate and show up in a relationship with ourselves too.
Mhm. Yeah. So can you take us through what an experience would be like with you if someone were to come to your retreats or work with you one on one? How does it work? What does that look like?
There's a lot of different things that we can do. Like I said, all the activities are on the ground. We may
Yeah.
just be out in a pasture with some horses doing some observational skills. What are you seeing? What
Mm.
are you observing? And that really starts to get the internal juices flowing of, oh, I'm seeing this.
Mhm.
And how do I identify why am I recognizing that behavior in that horse, or what
Mhm.
comes up for me when I see the horse acting that way? But on a one-on-one session, when the client is actually in a container with a horse, whether it be an arena or a small pasture or something like that, um, I'd go through some grounding exercises so that people can have a better, center when they come in.
Mhm.
We also do some safety demo,
Mhm.
and then they're free to do whatever they want with the horse. They can
Mm.
encourage the horse to move around. They can stand next to the horse. They can approach the horse
Mm.
however they want to be, and whatever kind of relationship they want to create with that horse, they can do that. Now, I usually will ask people if they have an intention or what they need support with when they come in. And it's interesting because they may set an intention, or I need support with this. The thing is, once they connect with the horse, or when they're trying to connect with the horse, that intention could be out the window and it's something completely different,
Different,
because
right.
something that's more honest, right? They may say, "Oh, I
Mm.
wanna do this thing. I want to, you know, have a better understanding." Whatever it is, right? It may be something that's
Mm.
really up on the surface level, and then once they get in there with the horse, we're talking in an animal that may be 1,000 pounds or 1,200 pounds. My horse is big. Um, they're like, "Oh, okay." It's very humbling, and also just being in that space and connecting with the horse on that heart-centered level will
Yep.
peel away. Like I said, all those layers will melt away, and then they're like, "Oh, this is what I'm really would like support with," or "This is what I really." And
Right.
sometimes they may not realize it, but I'm watching the horse's behavior, and I'm watching how the human is interacting, how the horse is reacting to their interaction or not,
Right.
and what they're
Right.
saying or what they're doing, and then I can ask some really intelligently informed questions about what's happening.
Right, exactly. So that's the opening. That's the opening, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like that all happens and then someone's feeling maybe exposed, but you're
Mhm.
safe. I feel,
Yeah.
you have this trust energy right away. So they really need to be in a trusted space. I'm thinking about I was in Costa Rica.
Mm.
It was several years ago, and I was with my family and my kids and I and my husband at the time. We had this experience with these horses, and it was life changing and so revealing, but a quick funny story because I remember being on the ground we had this one horse, and this woman who was taking us through this experience was like this huge, she has big hair and boots, and she was just like this huge energy. And she was like up in the stands, and she told us that we had to have the horse like follow us. We had to be the leader. But the bottom line, the story is very layered, but I'm going to summarize and say the horse was not even paying attention to us. The horse was off doing whatever it wanted to do. And the woman from the stands with the big mic was like, she's not paying attention to you. Do you know why? And we couldn't figure it out. It was like 30 minutes. She let us like struggle. We were trying so hard to reel the horse in. She came down. She said, because all of you have such egos. Nobody's taking control and nobody's willing to surrender. So this horse is like, screw you guys. You're a bunch of like, you got to figure out your family dynamic because you all want to lead. And 3 of you need to surrender. And we just didn't understand. And it was like the battle of the minds. It was fascinating. Yeah.
I love that story. I love that because we do some exercises like that when we have a group retreat where you have to work with 1 other person or 2 other people non-verbally and have the horse do whatever, decide what you want the horse to do, and then communicate with each other non-verbally and with the horse. And it's hysterical. Actually, it's really funny, but it really does bring out people's egos so it's a good exercise to do also with a work group because it's funny. You're like, oh, okay. Wow. That's telling.
It's funny and also can be scary because it's very revealing, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
after you go through an experience with someone or a group, is there like journaling and a reflection? And then is there, I don't know why I'm just thinking like, is there a particular story of a client that had this big reveal from this experience? Maybe, it's even you or someone that you've worked with. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had those experiences when I first started in the coaching program. Being a horse person, I was like, I can, make the horse do that. I can make the horse do that. You're a little cocky with your skills.
Right.
And you get in the arena and the coach is watching you or coach was watching me. This is about me.
Yeah.
And the horse is just running around willy-nilly. And I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
Seriously. And the coach was just like, let's see what happens here. Right. And he asked me, well, how is that, how is that working? And I wanted so badly to perform, to show them that I knew what I was doing with horses. And that is not what it was about at all. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
So you were humbled.
Yeah, I was seriously humbled. And it also made me realize, that it's not about the horse. It's not about my skills. It's about the connection. It's about the relationship. It's about, all of that stuff. I've also had people come in and with the horse, and the horse is connecting with them in a really close manner, like standing really close to them and, maybe nudging them with their head or something.
Yeah.
And I may say, hey, how's that going? Are you okay with that? Or how does that make you feel? They're like, oh, I think it's really sweet. The horse just wants to snuggle with me. And I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Pretty soon, the horse is really encroaching on their space. The horse is being maybe a little, not aggressive in a bad way, but just like maybe pushy, maybe a little nibbly. And then I may check in again and say, how does that feel? And they said, uncomfortable. Okay. Why does it feel uncomfortable? Well, the horse is in my space. And what do you think you could do about it? I don't know. Well, does this happen to you? And how does this feel like something that may happen in real life? Oh, yeah. I'm not real good with boundaries, they may not come to that conclusion, but I'm already like, girl, you got some boundary issues, And so well, what can you do to make yourself feel safe? Well, I could send them away, but I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Why don't you
yes.
try that and see how it feels? And it's interesting because people don't always wanna send the horse away or say, "Hey, this is my space," because you got a 1,200-pound animal in your space, it's a lot.
Yeah,
And even if they're not being aggressive, they're just being like, "Hey, all right, you're gonna let me in? All
yeah,
right, I'm just gonna take as much as you're gonna give me." But a lot of it has to do with they don't feel comfortable sending someone away because they might hurt their feelings or so that's a really they're really horses are really good with that. Testing your
that
boundaries.
is that is absolutely incredible and such good information for people to know about
Mhm.
themselves, right? To use that as a
Yeah.
tool, as a guiding light. And then on the flip, if they really like the horse coming in,
Mhm.
right? And what could that reveal about someone that they're
Yeah.
just all yeah,
Well, and sometimes it's a healthy thing too, and someone may come in and
yeah.
they may be trying to keep up a good front or a happy front or whatever when really they're hurting inside, and the horse really cares about,
Mm,
are you being honest with yourself? Because if you're being
right.
honest with yourself, then I can trust you, and a lot of times the horse
Mhm,
will just come and just gently stand next to them and allow
mm,
the person to be close, so they're
mm.
not pushing them, they're just holding space and they're
Yeah.
allowing the person to be in their space. And I'm like I said, I'm on the outside holding space for everyone, and just observing and informing and asking questions. And sometimes people will just need that level of comfort, that level of quiet, that level of
Mm,
support
mhm,
to feel and allow themselves to
mm,
experience whatever it is that they're going through.
mm. Oh my gosh, incredible. Yeah, I'm thinking about our conversation on your podcast around the different forms of intelligence. And I know you and I really shared some common ground around our own experience with our own intelligence and what that was like growing up. Um, and how emotional intelligence really wasn't highlighted for us in the classroom. It was really about mathematical and logical. And
Yeah.
if you didn't fit into that and do great on your SAT scores, you were not considered smart. But look at us, both of us now, doing these incredible, serving the world in such a profound way. And at the core of your work so deeply is this emotional intelligence and
Mhm.
kinesthetic intelligence in very profound ways. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, and I'd also like to say self-acceptance because that was huge for me. I didn't accept myself on so many levels, and I just, because of the way I
Yeah.
grew up, and I just was like, bull in a china closet, keep moving forward, keep those defenses up, and all of that. So, sorry, what was the
Mhm.
question again?
Just the connection to emotional and
Yeah,
kinesthetic intelligence in the
right.
work that you're doing. Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, I had no, like, emotional intelligence. Like you said, when I didn't grow up with that. I just grew up with, you gotta survive, or you don't,
Yeah,
or you can give up and you can, commit suicide, or you can
right.
do something else, and, if you don't wanna live. But horses and the work that I do and the spiritual journey that I've been on personally, has brought me to accept myself and that
Mm,
not everything is going to be perfect and that I have to trust my intuition and listen to my body, which is really important. And I know I can feel when I'm being incongruent or when I'm entering into a situation that doesn't feel right. And I have to trust that. And I have
mm,
learned to be like, "No, you know what? That it's not a good fit for me." I used to say yes to everything. Once again, there's the boundary issues. I had a hard time saying no because I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be
mm,
accepted. I wanted to seem valuable. Now I'm like, "Hey, this is me, and no, I don't have to do that because if it doesn't feel right to me, I'm just gonna resent it. I already know how it's gonna turn out."
mm,
So I have learned to respect and give myself some grace
mhm.
around things that don't make me feel good. and that no
That is
longer
so
serves
beautiful.
me.
Did you get some of that insight and strength from the horses?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I had been getting it all along, I just didn't understand it, and then I was able to kind of put the pieces together, like, "Oh, duh."
Through the horse work.
Yeah, yeah, through the horse work.
Yeah.
Mhm, and just
Through
through
the
other
horse work.
work that I did, energy
Yeah.
work and, all kinds of just connecting with the world, the people around me, and especially myself. Self is important. It's not selfish. It's important that you connect with
Mm.
yourself and that you understand that it's okay to take care of yourself and not feel selfish about and not feel that it's selfish. Does that make sense? I mean,
100%, that makes so
we
much sense.
yeah, as women, we tend to be, "Oh, I can't because that's selfish and I need to take care of everybody else," and that, right? That's why it's just like, forget about it. Forget about it. Take care of
No,
yourself.
absolutely,
Mhm,
absolutely, and again, what we've been also saying, and what I mentioned earlier is that it's yes, take care of yourself.
mhm,
Why? So that you can create, design the life that
mhm.
that you're meant to have, that you
Yeah.
desire, and that you deserve. And the only way to do that is to truly listen to the body. I love the work that you're doing. I think you're incredible. I love your journey and your story. If people want more of you, which I definitely do, where do they find you and how do they connect?
You can go to my website, willoughbycoaching.com. I'm on Instagram, Sue_Willoughby. And you can check out my podcast, which Jen mentioned, Midlife Strategies for Badass Women.
Mm, so good. So good. It's been amazing to connect with you. I know this is just the beginning of a beautiful journey for us ahead. And
Thank you.
thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jen.